You've tried, you've pushed, but somehow you still feel stuck on your journey to find your passion, right? You're not alone, and that frustration is the frustration you feel is a signal. But here's the secret: the obstacles that are holding you back aren't quite what they seem. And today we're going to be breaking them down and hopefully running through some strategies that'll get you through them. This is part 2 in the passion series we're doing. Hopefully this series will help you find your passion, find you that new hobby you've been looking for, find you that career path you've been looking for. It's all just about the underlying themes of finding whatever you want to pursue in life, or pursue whatever next thing you want to pursue in life. In this video, we'll dismantle the 3 hidden barriers that are blocking you from discovering your passion: fear, self-doubt, and the feeling of never having enough time. But don't worry, I'm not just going to tell you about them. We're going to be looking at some strategies to tear them down and get through them. So first up, let's look at some common obstacles that most people face when they're trying to find their passion or trying to find the next thing they want to pursue. First up being fear of failure, the most common one of all. Fear of failure is sneaky. It makes you feel safe by keeping you from trying. But here's the twist: the more you fear failure, the more power it will have over you. The real secret is every failure is a stepping stone, not a dead end. You have to look at it like a staircase. Every failure is the next one. It may tire out your legs. It may give you the calf pain, quad pain, but it's all part of the journey up to the top of the stairs. Obstacle 2, lack of confidence. Ever catch yourself thinking, I'm just not good enough, or it's too late for me? Well, these aren't truths. These are just your brain overthinking, creating false realities. There are stories you've been telling yourself for years, and stories can be rewritten. They're fairy tales. Third obstacle, time constraints. Life is busy between work, family, and everything in between. We all get caught up in our routines. It feels like there's never enough time. But what if I told you that the lack of time isn't the issue? It's how you're spending it. It's how you're managing your schedule and your routine. All you need to do most of the time is just time block out a certain amount of time to push towards whatever you want to push towards, and the rewards will follow. But we'll cover that. So let's go to the whiteboard. So some common obstacles people face when they're trying new things and trying to discover their passion. I drew 3 diagrams here. First one being showing that consistent effort along pursuing whatever you're pursuing. Imagine these little dips here as the failures you meet along the way. If you consistently put effort into it, you'll always get past them. You'll continue to grow. You'll continue to gain skills. You'll continue to find your passion and push towards it. Next up, when you have more experience, when you pursue your passion more and more, or pursue something new more and more, you gain confidence. You build up the resistance to those questions you ask. I can't do it, or I'm too old for this, or I'm too late. And lastly, looking at a fake weekly, monthly schedule, find those hidden time gaps in your schedule. If you think you don't have time for it, find those little points of time where you really have nothing to do, that you might be scrolling social media during, that you might be doing something that really isn't adding anything to your life, like these little gaps here. You can, not only on a monthly or weekly basis, look at it on a daily basis, if these are just some odd hours or 15 minutes that you have free. So let's look at the strategies to overcoming these obstacles we just looked at. First up being reframing failure as feedback. Let me share something powerful. A way that I think of failure now is this is the computer programmer in me. Failure is a data point. It is adding just data. You can also think of it in a scientific perspective when they're trying to find a new discovery of some sort, some new scientific method or formula. They have all these failures before they actually come to the revelation. And those failures, they actually use as data in order to find the true solution. It's not just a measure. Failure isn't a measure of your worth. It's feedback. It's something that forms the future you'll have. All all that uh, all that feedback, you just have to take it, and it's up to you to use it properly. The more feedback you collect, the faster you'll get to your goal, and as long as you use it right. You have to make sure that you're actually looking at the feedback and trying to figure out, what is it telling you? Where did I go wrong? And what can I do now? Strategy number 2 is adopt a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is your enemy. It whispers, I can't do this. A growth mindset, on the other hand, asks, how can I learn this? How can I fix this? How can I solve this problem? It's a simple shift, but it can change everything. Strategy number 3, prioritize time for passion discovery, for your hobbies, for delving into your curiosity. Here's a truth bomb. You don't need hours to explore your passion. Start with just 15 minutes a day or 15 minutes a week. That's up to you. The trick is to make passion a habit, not a task. Here's a little tip. You can stack your passion activities with something you already do. Listen to a passion-related podcast while driving, or write down ideas during your lunch break, or you can listen to a podcast even when you're working, if your brain works with that. But let's go to the whiteboard. So what happens when you go from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset? What should you expect? What really happens in the learning process, in the pursuit process? So I drew 2 diagrams here. We can think of the y-axis here as just learning, or learning speed, in both of these charts here. And for the fixed mindset, you learn at the normal pace. You learn things as they come. You let them come to you. You don't really ask any questions. You're not quite as curious as a growth mindset person. But when you shift from the fixed to the growth mindset, you start asking those random questions. You start experiencing the compounding growth where really, I should change this here to make them more comparable. Let's say the fixed mindset's down here. It has a low velocity for learning, or a low speed of learning. When you adapt that growth mindset and you start asking the questions that not everybody's asking, your learning starts speeding up. You start figuring out things that you might not have thought of before, and you might ask a question that leads to your passion. You might ask, why does an animal do that, do something specific? And then you figure out your passion for zoology or biology, and you start becoming you start pursuing that as a career path. In the passion sense, having a growth mindset over fixed mindset helps you learn more about your passions faster. So some tools and resources for just to help you find your passion and push towards overcoming these obstacles. Journaling is an incredibly powerful tool. Most people think of journaling as just writing, but it's a mirror. It's a mirror into what you're thinking. It's a mirror into maybe even some thoughts that might not be surface level and might be deep down inside. A passion journal can help you reflect, recognize patterns, and unlock the hidden interests that you might not even realize that you have. Next up, mentorship and community. You are the sum of the people you surround yourself with, whether it's mentors, friends, really anybody you hang out with or surround yourself with in any context. Find a mentor or community of like-minded individuals who can keep you accountable and push you forward, push you towards whatever you're wanting to accomplish, push you towards finding your passion that is for you. Last up, experimentation. You don't need to marry your passion on the first date. Most of the time, you need to experiment and try new things. You need to try this, you need to try that. And this gives you a sense of what you like, what you dislike, and what you should actually move towards. Give yourself freedom to explore. Don't hold yourself back. Talk to other people about it, and don't let other people hold you back as well. Test different hobbies, projects, learn different skills, and you'll probably be surprised at what sticks. It might come out of nowhere. But let's go to the whiteboard. So let's look at a classic Venn diagram now. Probably all of your favorite type of diagram, the classic. So let's look at how to find the sweet spot for discovering your passions, for discovering what you want to pursue. So in this case, we obviously want to find what's the sweet spot for discovering your next thing, for discovering something that you can pursue for the rest of your life or as the next step in your life. And really the sweet spot, obviously with a Venn diagram, we want to find the comparison and the thing that's in common with many different variables. So in this case, to find your passion, you want to find something that's a mix of the skills you have. You want to obviously get enjoyment, impact. A lot of people like to pursue passions that have some sort of impact on their family, their friends, the world itself, something that really solves a problem. If you're a doctor, you help people. That's your passion. And fulfillment, something that makes you feel fulfilled by the end of the day, something that gets you back in the door at the end of the day at home with a smile on your face. So that's ultimately to find the sweet spot of finding what your passion is. Think of all of these. Think of what skills you have, what sort of impact you want to have on your environment, on the world, what makes you feel fulfilled, and what do you enjoy. That will equal passion. Relating it to my own journey, I was obviously overwhelmed by the same obstacles, pushing towards trying new things and experimenting. But it's all about reframing failures as lessons, actually becoming mindful of what a failure is, becoming mindful of your failures, what you've learned from them, what sort of feedback you can take from them, and the lessons that'll help you push past the plateaus you reach. And actually setting a time in your week, in your day, towards thinking, just silence, journaling, or any form of passion discovery and creativity is revolutionary. It really helps get things going and things really start to shift. I wasn't perfect, but I was making progress. And that's another mindset shift you can make when you're progressing towards something. You don't think of, I often talk about making small goals that you can acquire relatively quickly, because this takes advantage of the reward systems in your body, and it rewards you for little small steps to achieve the larger goals, which if you're rewarding yourself for the smaller steps, you might not even realize until you actually complete the big goal, how far you've come. And that's really where the magic happens. It happens in this small little journey until you discover your passion or you complete a large goal you have. So remember, discovering your passion isn't one giant leap. It isn't something you wake up to in one day. It's about small, consistent steps, relating it not even to passion, but pursuing anything in general. It's about those small, consistent steps every day. It's also to pursue anything that is hard. You have to reframe failure as feedback. You have to think back to the progress you've made, or you're just going to burn yourself out. You have to figure out what keeps you going and what can sustain yourself while you're in the lowest of the lows. By reframing failure as feedback, shifting your mindset, and finding those hidden pockets of time when you can actually pursue and try and find your passion, you can crush any obstacle. I believe in you. Now it's your turn. What's the biggest challenge you're facing in your passion journey? Let me know in the comments. I'll try my best to help out. At Hobby Solver, we're all about people venturing into new hobbies, trying to figure out what they love in their leisure time, what really brings them joy, whether it's woodworking, painting, drawing, hobbies of any sorts, passions of any sorts. And if you share your hobby with me, we'll break through it together. I'll try and help you. Your passion journey isn't just about perfection. It's about, like I said, that progress you make. Keep moving forward. Stay curious. And I'll see you in the next video. Before you go check out Hobbies Over Launchpad. The link will be in the description. It's our hobby e-learning platform. We're all about trying to help people find their passions or start new hobbies. We're trying to make it as easy as possible. We made Hobbies Over Launchpad the easiest method for you to connect with a mentor in your hobbies, or maybe a hobby you've always wanted to start. They can teach you the basics to get you started on your path to success.